Let's sit down, please. The co-chairs, ministers of government, sorry, I have my Honorable Vice President here and Madam First Lady, before the ministers, Honorable Members of Parliament, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, development partners, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. In October, exactly last year, we were together at the inaugural edition of the Climate Resilience and Energy Transition National Dialogue. It was indeed a landmark event that attracted over 500 local, national, and international participants. That meeting brought together several stakeholders from the public and private sectors, development partners, and civil society to provide tangible solutions to mitigate the devastating impact of climate change in our quest to ensure access to reliable, affordable, sustainable energy for all. A year on, I am delighted to be here with you again for the second edition of the National Climate Resilience and Energy Transition Dialogue. As your president, I welcome all our international guests for this national dialogue, especially our distinguished partners who have traveled from various countries to join us today. Unakabo, welcome to Sierra Leone. I hope you enjoy the warm Sierra Leonean hospitality during your stay here. I'm extremely pleased now to recognize the presence of Badia, the Fund OPEC, Fund for International Development, Africa 50, the Climate Compatible Growth, the Clean Cooking Alliance, the International Atomic Energy Agency, the Danish Energy Agency, APRA Secretariat in Denmark, FAO, IFAD, the European Union, the Global Energy Alliance for People and Planet, the Global Electric Cooking Coalition, and IRENA, among so many others that are present. Let me also recognize other institutions like Power Africa and the MCC, who have also sent goodwill messages to show their support for my government's energy transformation efforts. I thank you all for your continued support and partnership on behalf of my government and the great people of Sierra Leone. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, following the first edition of the Climate Resilience and Energy Transition Dialogue, my government kicked off the development of a just and inclusive transition plan and green growth plan for Sierra Leone in the context of climate resilience and sustainable food systems. This plan encompasses a whole of economic approach analysis of key sectors like agriculture, transport, mining, etc., with multiple scenarios to determine the overall least cost pathway to meet Sierra Leone's future energy demands. I'm pleased to announce that we will launch the Just and Inclusive Energy Transition Plan and Green Growth Plan today. And that will be done along with other concrete actions to give special impetus to our journey towards sustainable access to energy and green growth. As a nation, we are suffering from the devastating effects of climate change and grappling with the challenges of implementing the socio-economic sector that will help us mitigate its impacts. We must therefore reconsider how we live and work to build a resilient future. This dialogue, thus, is very important, and your presence here is not just meaningful, but also integral to our collective efforts. Ladies and gentlemen, our response to climate change cannot be separated from the issues of access to energy, food security, and economic livelihoods. In fact, one of the most effective ways to address climate change is to accelerate the shift to alternative economic livelihoods like renewables and smart agriculture, as has been discussed here by our IFAD representative. We need affordable and sustainable renewable energy to power our cities, industries, and also homes. Fortunately, Sierra Leone is endowed with multiple renewable energy sources. But of course, transitioning these resources into usable energy for domestic and commercial purposes is not only daunting, but also very costly. I remain hopeful because I know we have very good friends in and out of here. In line with our global commitments on climate change actions, Sierra Leone stands ready to build a greener and more sustainable energy future. We remain committed to moving away from heavy fuel oils and other thermal sources to a more diversified energy mix with a greater share of renewable energy sources. Our medium-term national development plan is anchored within the framework of 2024-2030, and renewable energy availability is one of the key drivers for delivering on the development's pillars. Some of our friends here were with my team and I in June this year at the OPIC Fund's headquarters in Vienna. Financial commitments and technical support were offered in help to transform our energy sector and our ambitious agricultural initiative, Faith Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, your presence here underscores your institution's strong commitment to translating the pledges made into real development programs on behalf of our people. Thank you for coming. Your presence further reaffirms this year's dialogue theme, from commitments to action for our people and communities. With your support, I'm convinced we will bring out affordable and sustainable energy services to our people. I remain grateful to the Presidential Initiative on Climate Change, Renewable Energy, and Food Security, CRET, the Sustainable Energy for All program, and several other partners for developing Sierra Leone's first ever Energy Transition and Investment Plan, ETIP. The ETIP underscores our commitment to a new beginning of an inclusive, affordable, and sustainable energy transition. Our ambition is to reach net zero emissions through a low carbon development plan by 2050 and achieve a diversified energy mix that incorporates renewable and clean energy sources such as solar, hydroelectric power, and gas. The highlights of the plan will be presented to you in due course in the next 2 days. I've been informed that later today also, the World Bank will present Sierra Leone's first ever comprehensive clean cooking action plan for discussion. And the Global Electric Cooking Coalition will also present the 5 million program for electric cooking. Addressing access to modern cooking services is a critical imperative for my government. We are conscious of the dire health challenges facing our women and children as they engage in the daily cooking chores and the extensive environmental impact of cutting down trees to feed the demand for firewood and charcoal. My government remains committed to addressing this issue robustly. We are pleased that various women's organizations have come together to partner with us in this endeavor. Furthermore, our energy ambition will not be attainable without reforms for effective energy sector governance and a transformed, fit-for-purpose electricity distribution and supply agency, EXA. I have spoken about this before. We have made significant strides with EXA's comprehensive financial audit, which has been reported here already, engaging the private sector in its operations and envisioning substantial capacity building and institutional strengthening. To ensure proper coordination and information sharing, we have established an energy governance and coordination group of key power sector stakeholders under the leadership of Dr. Kande Jompela. In the same vein, the successful signing of the MCC Compact provides a major boost to our reform efforts. We have now received renewed technical support from FCDO, GIZ, Power Africa, the Danish Energy Agency, and several other institutions. This support should reassure our collective strength and fill us with confidence for the journey ahead. Our power generation. On power generation, we have a solid pipeline of projects of about 500 megawatts to harness our hydropower and solar power potential. I'm deeply grateful for the support of key institutions, including OPEC Fund for International Development, the European Union, GEA, APRA, and IRENA, JICA, and others in assisting us in developing and promoting these projects. Your contributions are invaluable and greatly appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, we know that this transition cannot happen in isolation. It requires collaboration between governments, development partners, the private sector, and civil society. A key component of our transition plan is to ensure that no one is left behind. The transition must leave communities protect workers, and support industries to adapt to the demand of a new energy era. We owe it to our children, future generations, and our planet to make the bold decisions that will secure a prosperous, sustainable future for all. Co-chairs, distinguished guest partners, ladies and gentlemen, my government's second-term mandate is driven by the commitments made in our medium-term National Development Plan, with focus on big 5 game changers. Energy is, however, the bedrock of this transformational plan and will require substantial investments and collaboration more than ever before. The big 5 game changers are envisaged to serve as anchors for an energy transition, lasting transformation, poverty reduction, and resilience. In short, access to sustainable, affordable energy is the thread that binds and is the catalyst for achieving the big 5 game changers. Looking ahead, Sierra Leone is well positioned to become energy independent, leveraging our abundant renewable energy resources to strengthen energy security and drive economic growth. Our development success is anchored on securing the necessary funding to implement the concrete actions articulated in the plan. Our journey towards sustainable, resilient future is not a solitary one. It is a collective commitment, as has been alluded to already. I, therefore, invite our development partners, the private sector, the international community, civil society organizations, to join us in realizing this ambitious vision of sustainable access to energy in Sierra Leone. The road ahead may not be smooth, but with collaboration and unwavering resolve, we can and we will surmount the challenges ahead. We have pledged, we have planned, and prepared. Therefore, we must take the decisive step to make our energy sector vision a reality. I thank you all for your steadfast commitment to transforming our nation's energy sector. As I close, I want to thank the convener of this all-important national dialogue, the Presidential Initiative for Climate Change, Renewable Energy and Food Security, and the co-organizers. The Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Energy, Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, Ministry of Environment and Climate Change, and the United Nations Development Programme, who have provided significant financial and technical support for this all-important national dialogue. I'm particularly thankful to you, Dr. Kande Yonkela, for your passion, tenacity, and astute leadership in galvanizing global support to implement our government vision for an energy secure country in the face of our prevailing challenges. I wish you all fruitful deliberations. I look forward to a workable solution to move from commitments to action in our energy sector for our people and communities to support sustainable economic development and socio-economic progress in Sierra Leone. Thank you all.
Excellency, hello. Your Excellency, we have one more ceremony before you leave us. We are asking, I beg your pardon, sir, the mic was not working. If you could do us the honor just to come back, my apologies. We need to hand over some documents to you. The Vice President will be taking over from you now. But we ask Dr. Edward Taylor to come on stage, please. Dr. Edward Taylor will present to you the energy transition plan, strategic plan also for the CRET. And then we ask Stefano, Sustainable Energy for All, their agency led the effort to develop the Green Road Plan. The Vice President will be launching it later. Dr. Taylor will formally present all documents to you. We also have an action plan for the accelerated partnership for renewables in Africa. Also there, all of these will be launched by the Vice President after you leave. Thank you, sir, for your support and leadership. We'll continue to do our best. Stefano, you want to come forward on the other side of the President and the Minister, please.
Used to Handover strategic plan for the year 2024 to 2030. And then in addition, Your Excellency, we also have the energy transition green road plan also. Please accept the establishment of the Sectoral Climate Finance and Energy Innovation Hub.
Thank you, sir. We have done a slight change in the program. His Excellency will be leaving us now because of some pressing issues, and His Excellency the Vice President will be chairing the commitment session. So we'll stand up for the national anthem so that the President can have it. Thank you so much for your presence, sir. National anthem. We wish to invite His Excellency the Vice President to the stage. Honorable Vice President.
Your Excellency, the Vice President, thank you very much for helping to chair this occasion. We're now at the commitment stage where we will call on our transformation partners to come on up the stage and then make their commitments. First up is His Excellency the Ambassador Brian J. Hunt. Ambassador of the United States to the Republic of Sierra Leone.
Thank you very much. His Excellency, the Vice President of Sierra Leone, the Chairman of the Presidential Initiative on Climate Change, Renewable Energy, and Food Security, Honorable Ministers and Deputy Ministers of Government, Honorable Members of Parliament, Mayors, Ambassadors, High Commissioners, and members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, international and private sector partners, members of civil society, and other distinguished guests, good morning, or I guess good afternoon. It is a privilege to stand before you today to highlight the ongoing multifaceted partnership between the United States and Sierra Leone that is building a modern, reliable energy sector. As many of you know, in September we celebrated a significant milestone with the signing of a $480 million compact under the Millennium Challenge Corporation, which combined with a $14.2 million contribution from the government of Sierra Leone will refurbish, expand, and reform Sierra Leone's power transmission and distribution infrastructure. It encompasses investments in capital projects such as the essential modernization and expansion of the outdated and insufficient distribution and transmission networks, construction of the Southern Transmission Corridor that will open up the country's east and south to power grid connectivity, and operationalization of dispatch and control centers, as well as the enhancement of institutional capacities and support for policy reforms to ensure sustainability and the long-term viability of the network to meet the demands of both urban and rural communities. Beyond the MCC Compact, I am particularly excited by the support that the United States has been able to provide for the ongoing construction of the Western Area Power Generation Project, renamed the Nantes Energy Project, which is supported by $412 million in financing and political risk insurance from the U.S. International Development Finance Corporation. This gas-to-power plant, the groundbreaking of which I was honored to attend with His Excellency the President and Her Excellency the First Lady earlier this year, is set to nearly double Sierra Leone's power generation capacity upon completion of its 36-month construction timeline. While our MCC and DFC capital improvement projects encompass longer-term civil engineering works, the United States is acutely aware of the need for more immediate action. For this reason, we have agreed to provide targeted assistance through USAID's Power Africa initiative and its Empower West Africa program, with the aim of providing short-term relief from the high cost and unreliability of current power solutions. To that end, the Empower West Africa program is assisting the government with the procurement of a new cost-effective private sector emergency power generation solution for the country through an open and competitive process, one that will move us away from dependence on the car power ship. To address off-grid needs, the United States will bring solar power and digital connectivity to an additional 100 health facilities, improving access to reliable electricity for critical health services in particularly remote areas. By leveraging private sector expertise and innovation, we can accelerate progress towards a reliable energy supply. However, this approach must be complemented by a strong commitment from all Sierra Leonean stakeholders to reform the energy sector. It is essential that we work together to foster an environment where cost recovery for supplied electricity is not just an aspiration, but a reality. The ultimate success of our partnership hinges on the implementation of a strong regulatory framework which increases accountability and efficiency. Similarly, its ultimate development impact hinges on the continued adoption and implementation of business-friendly economic reforms, control of corruption, sustained investment in human capital, and forward progress on strengthening democratic institutions and reforming the nation's electoral system. Continued emphasis in these areas, including full implementation of the Agreement for National Unity and the recommendations contained in the Tripartite Committee's final report, will not only sustain the nation's eligibility for MCC assistance over that project's lifespan, but also create the baseline conditions necessary for foreign and domestic investors to have the political and economic confidence to make maximum use of the expanded energy grid to grow their operations in Sierra Leone. We envision a future where all Sierra Leoneans have access to affordable, reliable electricity, driving economic growth and improving quality of life. Together, through these significant investments and necessary reforms, we can pave the way for a more prosperous, democratic, and healthy future for all Sierra Leoneans. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Hunt. We will now call on Her Excellency Josephine Gold, the British High Commissioner to the Republic of Sierra Leone.
Your Excellency Vice President, Madam First Lady, ladies and gentlemen, let me stand on existing protocols and apologise. I left my glasses at home, so if I can't read my notes, just please bear with me. Thank you very much for the opportunity to come and talk today on this very important issue. I think, as you will all be very much aware, Sierra Leone suffers from particular vulnerabilities when facing the climate change we are experiencing globally. From changes to the ocean temperatures, changing in seasonal rainfall, all of this can have an impact on the important food security agenda. But with innovation in the renewable sectors that are developing on a daily basis, and with Sierra Leone's special climate, I think you're very well placed to be able to capitalise on the opportunities in the energy transition. The UK recognises the central importance of energy in the modern economy, as well as in the daily lives of every household, from charging your phone, being able to study, to being able to cook safely. And the UK has been heavily involved in the energy sector here in Sierra Leone for a number of years now, and we intend to continue to focus on it in the years ahead. We've spent £29 million on helping to upgrade the transmission line and the substations linking Bowen Kenyama to the Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia, Sierra Leone and Guinea regional interconnector. We hope this is all going to come online before the end of the year to enable the citizens of Bowen Kenyama to benefit from reliable and competitively priced power. We've also contributed £38 million to developing the mini-grids market, and we're delighted that other partners are now also supporting this approach. And one of the other aspects we've been working on, which has already been mentioned, is £20 million in installing solar systems in Sierra Leone's largest hospitals. 7 of these are now up and running, and a further 11 are due to come into operation in the next few months. Linked to this has been providing solar power to 25 community health centres. And I think we heard earlier from Sustainable Energy for All that the feedback has been very positive for both patients and doctors alike. We know it's important to get the delivery right, and a really effective EDSA is going to be key to that. So we're working with EDSA on a range of issues, for example, on checking the power usage and payments from the large consumers. And we're also working with EDSA on streamlining the collection of those payments into a single collection account. A better and more reliable energy supply also needs to be sustainable. I think so, benefiting from the innovation, technology, finding the right mix of public and private involvement, creating the regulatory framework which will attract the investments into the sector and ensure the level of service that Sierra Leoneans need, setting affordable prices which will allow for sustainability and investment in the sector. All of these are going to be important in the years ahead as the sector develops. The UK is looking forward to continuing this dialogue on how we can best play a role in accompanying Sierra Leone on this journey. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Her Excellency. Next is Ambassador Jen Kraus-Nass, Ambassador of the Republic of Germany to Sierra Leone.
Your Excellency, the Vice President, Madam First Lady, please allow me to send an existing protocol. May I first of all congratulate the head of the Presidential Initiative for organizing this and the government of Sierra Leone this timely event, just 1 week before we meet at the COP29 in Baku and addressing all these climate-related issues. I think that energy, climate change, and sustainable agriculture are tremendously linked, and this is something which also was clearly mentioned at the Sierra Leonean German intergovernmental consultations last Thursday, where energy played a decisive role. And we all agree on the fact that energy is the enabler of development. And we will build on the achievements of energizing development, a joint program developed with the Netherlands, the Norwegian and the Swiss government for over 20 years to build a more specific Sierra Leonean program which will support our two major development cooperation pillars, which are health on one side and sustainable economic development on the other side. And in this regard, Germany, because one of the themes today is from commitment to action, we actually are convinced that Africans are able to promote sustainable energy much better as they, and we are committed to support our African partners in this regard. We want to have a positive climate answer to the challenges of today. African countries, and Sierra Leone in particular, has the potential to leapfrog outdated technologies and deploy directly into renewables. We all know how important is the potential for solar and hydropower in Sierra Leone. And it's Germany, who is one of the investors in the first grid-connected solar power factory close to go in Leone, and we are looking forward, the investors, to set up the second phase. And I think this underlines once again that private initiatives, private capital is key, and therefore we need an enabling environment. And because it's, as I said, commitment to action, I'm happy to announce that my government is about to deploy an expert into the presidential initiative to work on climate financing, to get private capital into the country to further develop this important energy sector. And it's also so that the partnership for the Accelerated Partnership for Renewable Energy, APRA, is at the heart and the core of our investments. Together with the Danish government, we will continue to support, and I'm sure that during COP29 there will be events which show again our support. And I can congratulate, APRA is very successful, Sierra Leone is at its top, and as the investment conference in Nairobi it's 2 weeks ago, just mentioned, we have the interest of private financing to come here. And I'm very happy to see that C4O, that other initiatives are already committing their money. And I can only continue saying that Germany stays committed in supporting the development of renewable energies in Sierra Leone, and that we are prepared to do so, and we are happy to be with you, because we think without energy there will be no development. We have to work together, hand in hand. Thank you very much.
We will now we'll now call on the ambassador, His Excellency Aidan Fitzpatrick, Ambassador of Ireland to the Republic of Sierra Leone.
Good morning, everybody. Madam First Lady, Vice President Yellen, ministers, members of Parliament, private sector, civil society actors, allow me to work on existing protocol. We're a relatively new player in this sector, in the energy sector. Ireland, traditionally, we haven't been very active in this sector. But I think we've been greatly encouraged by the President's vision, the huge energy that is there now, that the government are putting behind delivering energy solutions right across the country. I didn't make the conference last year, but it's just fantastic to hear today the amount that has been achieved over the past year. Our contribution in this sector, it's relatively modest. When I hear of our American colleagues, when I hear of EFAD, the International Energy Agency, so many people bring so much, and everybody is needed, I think, in making the transition that is so badly needed here. In the Irish Embassy, we sat with some of our partners last year. We sat with the private sector, and we sat with civil society organisations. And we focused on a particular sector. We focused on the people that would probably be left off the grid for the foreseeable future. I think in the government's plans, there's hope that we have energy access for all by 2035. But I think one of the more challenging parts of that is rural energy and getting energy to rural households. Expanding the grid and working with microgrids, that's a good way to go, but we started looking at delivering household energy systems. We've done a number of pilots, we've blanket covered a number of communities, and we've used what we call energy access services, a model whereby we look to the community, we look to households to pay a small amount of money per month for providing a good energy system. So far we've lit up 5 communities, and in the immediate future now we're looking at lighting up an entire district. So in 2025 we want to go north. We're working with our colleagues in Cambia, and we want to bring an energy solution, a household energy system to every household in Cambia by the end of 2025. So I'm looking forward to being back here next year and to say we have delivered on that. And when we look at the costs associated with that, we're looking at a total cost of about $4 to $5 million. I can't think of a better investment. When we hear about the big money that's coming into this area, for about 50 million, we think we can use our model to light up all of Sierra Leone. So I'd hope to come back next year and report that we have lit up Cambia, but then I'd also like to come back and report that we also have the plan, we're well on the way to lighting up all of Sierra Leone. And ideally, I think we should be doing that by 2030. It's a tier 1 energy solution. It'll give you basic lighting. It'll allow you to charge your phones. It will deliver a radio as well. It's modest enough, but I think it's time that people stop living in darkness. It is time to light up this country, and my country is committed to be part of that process. Our investment is modest, as I said from the outset. It's about 1.5 million euros, about 37.5 million leones. We have Iceland, we have a number of other philanthropic organizations with us as well. But getting a few more on board, we're looking forward to making serious progress over 2025. And in the spirit of this conference, yes, I'd hope to be back here next year to report on real action and real deliverables. Thank you.
Next up is Dr. Abdul Mwanji, the World Bank country rep for Sierra Leone.
Your Excellency, Vice President, Dr. Mohamed Madam First Lady, Honorable Members of Parliament present, Honorable Ministers present, police government partners, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to join Kande Yunkela and the team. Congratulations for the second dialogue on climate resilience and the energy transition. You've done a fantastic job. You deserve a big round of applause. Your Excellency, the Vice President, my apologies, I'll have to run quickly after my deliberations because today we are having the decision review meeting of the budget support operation, for which energy is part of, and I'll be starting at exactly 2 o'clock. So I have to run and then be back to join the rest of the sessions in the afternoon. But I would like to share a few thoughts that, first of all, in terms of takeaways, since I joined this morning, Honorable Kande Yunkela, for me, I see one, we are beginning to have a real conversation in terms of convening the power. And again, thanks to you, because it's convening the power, convening the resources, and the dialogue across different stakeholders that we are going to move in one direction. The second point really is we need to remain accountable, and I think a platform like this one will hold all of us accountable, which in turn means that whatever we say here, we have to be measurable, we have to be held to measure. So your responsibility is really help us remain accountable, and in turn, can you create a framework where we measure whatever we say from here? That's commitment to action. You said it. I would like us to pick up on a few things that I would like to share. Innovations which I think are happening across the country, across a wide range of areas. If you go to Kailaun, there is a young man who uses cocoa kernels to generate power, and is creating jobs for more than 50 women in the village, from the process of making bar soap to cooking oil, but he's transforming and he's using the kernels out of cocoa to really generate power. Then you move across to Lion Mountain in Makeni, who, out of resilience and ingenuity, we are able to prefabricate a boiler that uses rice husks to generate power in order to parboil rice. That's all part of your story of resilience. Then you move to a lady in Kareli called the Haja, working with poor women farmers on doing smart agriculture by multiplying the seedlings from cassava across many farmers, of course with the support of paramount chiefs who have given land. Then we have innovations of people who are using sewer waste to make briquettes as a way of providing alternatives for cooking. And we have a young group of entrepreneurs who are making solar stoves. Not forgetting Usman from Kono, who is doing smart irrigation as we speak. I can go on and on and on. But the reason I mention this discussion, again, one recommendation for you, Kande and the team, is that this conversation should go beyond the national level. I want to see this conversation start from the grassroots. Let's build a database of these examples of change makers, which are quite many. They are quite many. And I think for me, we can bring them together in another forum. They share their stories, but the view should be to replicate. These people need support. These innovators need support, and they need a platform. And I think that will be a huge opportunity for us to move forward with that. The other key point I wanted to share along the lines of really getting the innovators to have a voice is that the World Bank, we are playing a convening role, and there are many opportunities. I don't want to go through that whole range of different interventions. We are working closely with the Ministry of Energy and the Ministry of Finance, but I just wanted to highlight one specific intervention that our leadership has come up with to electrify 300 million people across Africa by 2030. Sierra Leone will be part of the AM300 compact, and the only way we will get there is by putting pen to action, commitment to action. The reforms being supported through the budget support across policy, institutional, and regulatory reforms across the wide range of the sector are a testament that we will get there. The investments we are doing across the different opportunities of solar harnessing, the efforts to electrify schools and hospitals are all in the same spirit, not forgetting efforts on clean cooking. So I would just like to stop here and say thank you very much, Kande Yunkela and your team. I think I will pick up on the concluding remarks made by Power Africa that we will leverage our entire toolkit. I mean, not World Bank, but I think all the stakeholders who are presented, leveraging our entire toolkit will go a long way towards contributing to Sierra Leone's sustainable energy solutions. Thank you so much, and I'll be back in the afternoon. Please, let's get the voices of the innovators heard, and let us take this dialogue to the grassroots. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abdul. We'll now call on the representatives from IRENA and APRA. Thank you.
Excellency, Mr. Vice President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Her Excellency, Madam First Lady, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, all protocol observed. It's an honor and a pleasure for me to be here at this very important climate resilience and energy transition dialogue on the behalf of the Director General of the International Renewable Energy Agency, Mr. Francesco Lacabra, who really conveys his gratitude for extending the invitation to IRENA and also sends his best wishes for successful deliberation. So before speaking about APRA, let me say just a few words about IRENA. So IRENA is a global lead agency for the energy transformation that serves as platform for international cooperation. It supports countries in their energy transition and provides reliable data and analysis on technology, innovation, policy, and finance and investment. IRENA has 170 members so far, and it's really support the countries by helping them to achieve their priorities. So coming back to APRA, the Accelerated Partnership for Renewable Energy in Africa, it was launched at the COP28 in Dubai, building on the outcomes of the Nairobi Declaration, which calls for action, as well as the outcome of the global stocktake, which is also key outcomes for the last COP in Dubai. So the aim of APRA is to help countries with ambitious and clear targets for renewables to improve their energy access, to boost the green industrialization, and also to improve the overall resilience of their societies. How will APRA support the countries to achieve those goals? First of all, by mobilizing finance. The second pillar is to support to boost the engagement of the private sector, and the third one is to develop the skills, both individual and societal. So it's really that will happen through capacity building and technical assistance. So far, we have 7 countries in Africa, as well as partners that are supporting us. So the partners include Denmark, Germany, UAE, United Arab Emirates, and the US. We also have philanthropies and other technical institutions that are supporting us, such as GIAP, who was with us in the morning, Rockefeller Brothers Funds, and so on. So the Secretariat is hosted by IRENA. I'm just insisting on that. IRENA is hosting APRA Secretariat. So in the frame of the implementation of APRA, we have supported the countries to develop national action plans based on their priorities. And in the case of Sierra Leone, basically the action plan for Sierra Leone focused more on, it emphasizes on the goal of universal electrification, energy diversification, regional electricity export, and economic growth. And in terms of the priority actions, they include the mini-grid development, renewable energy integration in sectors such as agriculture and fisheries, infrastructure optimization, policy and regulatory improvements, and the capacity building. As my predecessors have already highlighted, we have hosted in October the first APRA investment forum in Nairobi. So we hosted it with the government of Kenya, and that serves as a key platform for high-level stakeholder engagement, featuring project matchmaking sessions that aim to enhance financing avenue and access to essential technical expertise. So at that forum, 4 projects from Sierra Leone were highly profiled, and this includes also 2 high-impact renewable energy projects, the Bombuna project and the Dodogoma project. We know that those projects, they have high impact and they seek for funding, but they gather interest from few partners, such as the OPEC fund, the Impact Aid, and that engagement was facilitated through the IRENA Energy Transition Accelerator Financing Platform, ETAF, as well as our Climate Investment Platform, CIP, which connects climate-aligned initiatives with technical and financial support. So for ETAF, we have a commitment of 1.25 billion to support 1.5 gigawatts of renewable energy projects worldwide. So, although both projects have they show strong investment potential, they require further preparation to reach the full investment readiness. In that regard, as APRA Secretariat, together with our host institution, of course, so we will support the implementation of the National Action Plan, APRA Action Plan of Sierra Leone, through the effort of the partnership itself, as well as by bringing in more partners who can support specific activities, and also by using IRENA's own technical expertise, because we know that it has a thematic focus, which is really the promotion of renewable energy. I think the colleagues from the Danish Energy Agency will build a bit on that today or tomorrow during the thematic discussions. Furthermore, IRENA is ready to support the preparation of the two projects, Bombuna and the Dodoma project, by providing the technical expertise and facilitating the right partnership to lower the risk profile of those projects. And also, we will try to explore the non-recourse funding options as well as any additional funding avenue that may be required. So basically, I would like to conclude by highlighting the fact that APRA is a transformative partnership that has the potential not only to reshape the renewable energy landscape in Africa, but also to serve as a blueprint for global cooperation and development. It's kind of a testament that what can be achieved when nations and organizations they unite under a common goal, which is the fast-track deployment of renewable energy to drive sustainable development. So together we'll make things happen. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Madam. Now we'll call on Carl Christian Nelson, the Director for the Center for Global Cooperation. Danish government, my apologies. Danish government. Mr. Nelson.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the Vice President, Madam First Lady, Honorable Ministers, dear ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, please let me stand on existing protocol. It is my honor and privilege to stand here today representing the Danish Energy Agency and on behalf of the Denmark participation in the Accelerated Partnership for Renewables in Africa, APRA, to announce the upcoming launch of a technical assistance support activity towards the Electricity Distribution and Supply Authority of Sierra Leone, EDSA. With this activity, we hope to contribute to the transformative pathway Sierra Leone has embarked on, and in a very tangible way by training and empowering EDSA people, both the colleagues in the offices and technicians doing maintenance out in the field, help alleviate the critical energy supply situation in Sierra Leone. I would also like to highlight that a letter of intent was signed between our two nations during the visit to Denmark in March 2024 of the Chief Minister of Sierra Leone, Mr. David Senke. The letter of intent included cooperation of a €2 million program for early childhood education through UNICEF and the €3 million grant for green energy projects facilitated through the European Union. I'm happy to report that currently these two programs are under fundraising. Finally, I would like to thank His Excellency, the President, for the opportunity to be here and recall a successful meeting with the Danish Minister for Development, Cooperation and Global Climate Policy, Mr. Danish, to Sierra Leone last year. This visit laid the foundation for the very close cooperation and dialogue within the energy sector between Denmark and Sierra Leone. And we, at the Danish Energy Agency, very much look forward to the cooperation towards initiating concrete action under the auspice of ACRA. I would like to wish Sierra Leone and its wonderful welcoming people well-being, prosperity, and not least full-fledged access to abundant, affordable, and sustainable energy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to the Danish government. Now I would like to call on Madam Le Chabin, the Chief Executive Officer of IX Engineers.
Good afternoon, His Excellency, the President of Sierra Leone, and Her Excellency, Madam First Lady, ladies and gentlemen, our chairman, thank you very much. I am Engineer Leone Shabani. I am from South Africa. We're very pleased to be here. I'm the CEO of IX Engineers, and as a company, we're excited about the opportunities of Sierra Leone, and we pledge our African experience, our expertise in the development of sustainable and futuristic infrastructure solutions to support the Sierra Leone government in the development of integrated and connected sustainable energy and water infrastructure solutions. And we pledge 3 things. Firstly, is the National Integrated Master Plans to develop a sustainable energy mix, transmission and distribution infrastructure. And secondly, is the sustainable water mix through a master plan that takes into consideration the diversified sources of water and wastewater treatment solutions for sustainable water infrastructure and supply. Thirdly, it's project packaging to unlock projects, to enable investments. We find that there's a lot of projects, and the biggest problem that the project developers have is that they're not well packaged, therefore they're not able to attract the right investment. So we provide those solutions to the government. And lastly, is blended finance solutions through aggregating international grant funding and investments to unlock projects and improve on the viability. Our objective really as a company is to stimulate the economic development and job creation for the people of Sierra Leone. I thank you.
Thank you. I think we have only 2 more to go. So now I will call Ms. Alicia Butterfield, who is from the Global Electric Cooking Coalition. Ms. Butterfield, please.
Your Excellency, Vice President, and Your Excellency, Madam First Lady, and to honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is with great pleasure that I join you in this warm and welcoming country. I feel deeply privileged and very honoured to be with you here today. At the International Energy Agency Summit in Paris, His Excellency, the President, outlined the commendable strides Sierra Leone is taking
to catalyse the transition to modern energy cooking solutions and to mainstream clean cooking into the energy planning processes. To complement these existing activities and working in collaboration with the Presidential Initiative on Climate Change, Renewable Energy and Food Security, the Global Electric Cooking Coalition, GECO, has developed a $5 million e-cooking scale support initiative for Sierra Leone. We are pleased to receive the interest of the Middle East Green Initiative's Forward 7 of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to enhance this collaboration. And this e-cooking scale support initiative will catalyse the transition to sustainable, safe, affordable cooking through electric cooking, enabling a cleaner cooking future for millions of people. We look forward to the work that we are committed to undertaking together and to the positive changes that will be the fruits of this collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, we'll call on the Senior Investment Director for Africa 50, Mr. Anas Sharafi.
So I will be brief, since I've already spoken before, but just to be a bit more specific on how we intend to support the energy transition in Sierra Leone. We will do that in two ways. The first one, as I mentioned, is in support of project development. We will work with private sector partners and commit risk capital and also our own internal resources, people, to drive the projects. So typically for a given project, we can invest between $1 and $8 million in the early stage phase, developing the projects. And importantly, our intention is to be very actively involved to act as a bridge, a facilitator between the public sector, the government, who are our stakeholders, and the private sector with whom we work all the time, and in that way, fast-track the implementation of projects. The second way, which we intend to support the sector, is by financing construction, particularly equity. Typically, we can invest between $50 and $60 million in equity for each given project. I would just like to finish by emphasizing that these interventions are highly catalytic. Every dollar that is spent on early stage project development will typically unlock about $20 in capital to fund construction once the projects reach that stage. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for all our partners who have made commitments. As you can see, very brief, very action-oriented. As the representative of the World Bank said, you can hold all of us accountable. This is about action. We're very pleased our partners are ready to work with us to move the agenda. Commitments come in many forms. One important one is leadership. And there's an area we need leadership on. You just heard a $5 million announcement for clean cooking, but we need much more. In many countries, when we talk about clean cooking, they say, oh, it's a woman's issue. No, it's a national development issue. Most of Sub-Saharan Africa, 80 to 85% of the population still use charcoal in the fire. Take West Africa. Ghana is the most electrified, 85, 87% electrified. Still uses charcoal, 80% still uses charcoal and fire for cooking. To change that, you need big investments, pipelines to move the gas. If you're going to use gas, or power grids that can give you that clean energy for cooking. And so the other commitment we have, Mr. Vice President, is a commitment for leadership. And we're trying to mobilize presidents around the world to back us with real money, and President Leone was in Paris in May, where we got a $4.2 $2 billion pledge supported by the EU, France, many countries. But locally, we need the same kind of mobilization and support. And so who else can we find than a global icon, a champion of women and children, to help us mobilize locally and internationally to bring that big investment. We're laying the foundation. This afternoon, the World Bank will present our first action plan towards clean cooking investments in the country that will become a strategy. But we asked Madam First Lady, she was going to do it this afternoon. We said, no, can you do it this morning? We have more of the people here. Commitment of leadership, Your Excellency, we know you just came back, you're exhausted, but when it's a woman's issue or a development issue, you always say yes. So forgive me for being too obstinate and insisting that you stay, but we need your commitment. You have the stage for that.
Chairperson, Dr. Honorable Vice President, Dr. Mohamed Yurjaya, distinguished guests, members of the Fourth Estate, ladies and gentlemen, very good afternoon to you all. I am very pleased to be part of this big and important event organized to bring solutions to our energy solutions in our nations today. There can be no better time than now to host such national engagement for the following reasons. First, the Millennium Challenge Corporations, which has been identified as one of the major drivers of solutions to transform us as a nation, is finally here. Together with MCC, President Julius Madavio and his team has worked assiduously and ensured all the benchmarks set to their program unlock the other potentials necessary for our development transformation, be it in agriculture, economic diversification, manufacturing, education, health, communication, innovation, to name but the few sectors that urgently need energy. Second and very crucial is the appointment of Dr. Kande Yunkela to join His Excellency the President, Dr. Julius Madavio, Dr. Julius Madavio's team. I don't know whether this is a sign. In just under 2 years of his appointment, we have seen from his efforts significantly inroads in terms of assessing the situation, bringing the stakeholders on board, but more importantly, seeking and convincing those with the resources to invest in our energy situations so that we can put the issue of energy crisis behind us. The topic for discussion is clean cooking is centered around something in the lives of our women and girls. So if you see me in this national engagement and you may be wondering why and what is our First Lady doing in an energy conference, your doubt will soon be clear. Clean cooking is all about healthier living. Let us just reflect on the way our food are prepared in our rural areas and some deprived communities in our urban settings. Majority are still cooking in an unhealthy way due to the type of energy we are using. It is mostly firewood, charcoal, and other harmful materials like plastics, etc. If we think about the smoke and its effect on our lungs, eyes, skin, and other sicknesses we derive from the ways and processes of cooking, they are just overwhelming. Another important aspect about clean cooking is the environmental stewardship here. The firewood, charcoal, mangroves are obtained by processes that are very harmful to our environment. Deforestation, coastal erosion, global warming, and our vulnerability to environmental disasters are just a few to name. Furthermore, clean cooking is about empowering communities. The investment of protections of women and girls are enormous. Therefore, clean cooking goes beyond just using less harmful fuel to prepare our food, but rather amplifying promotions of health by reducing indoor air pollution, which disproportionately affect women and girls in our part of the world called developing region or countries. Environmentally also, it is a win for us all because cleaner methods like solar, electric, or efficient biomass so reduce deforestation and lower greenhouse gas emissions. Even more important about clean cooking is that it is a step forward towards equity. It can save time and labor, gives more opportunities to especially women and girls for education, work, and personal growth. Now, the way and means our country can aspire to achieve clean cooking might be considered difficult and complex, but I would like to make a couple of suggestions, not with the intention of taking away what the presenters in this session might be bringing. However, if my suggestions coincide with what you have at hand, then we are all just on the same page. First and foremost, it is to deepen research in the subject matter, for us to know, to understand, and appreciate the available and additional knowledge that is within clean cooking. Second, is to use the knowledge and information from research to sensitize our population using facts about the benefits and the dangers of not embracing clean cooking. Another suggestion I would want to advance is to encourage deliberate investment in clean cooking. This is where we need the private sector to come in, and not just for the profit, but to support the nation in bringing solutions to our hazardous ways of sustaining our lives. On the part of government, I would urge for the creation of an enabling environment with policies and legal framework that would promote clean cooking, encourage and protect investments. Before I take my seat and allow the presenters and everybody here to think about what we have said here, including me stepping into the job of president. Come on, you can smile a lot. There's no pride. Let me reiterate and call it a fear of God, which we can use to spark change in our country. Clean cooking is about reducing health risks, safeguarding our planet, and about empowering people, especially our women and girls. Please permit me to say thank you to the chair of this session, Dr. Kane Kodeyunkela, for inviting me to take part in this important engagement that has for far-reaching implications for our women and children. Our efforts on the mainstream issue for women and girls empowerment in the areas of protection, empowerment, and promotion of equality should be marked by issues like these for sustainability. Furthermore, I want to thank you and your team for showing our country's readiness and preparedness for the implementation of the MCC. So everybody who have attended here and participated, please do justice to the session as we are eagerly awaiting your professional and expert opinion on the subject matter. My women are going to be protected with clean cooking. So if you see me here, not because I want to be Minister of Energy, I just want my women to have the best possible way of cooking our food and at the same time utilize that opportunity to make something for themselves and for their community. I'm grateful to Dr. Kane Kodeyunkela for inviting me to be part of this important program, and I want to say I doff my hat to you, and you know I'm a big fan. Thank you also very much for your attention. May God bless you.
Thank you very much for that. Firstly, thank you for the time. And inshallah, we now have a new engineer for clean cooking and an investment officer as well. Just give us 5 minutes. The Vice President is going to thank our contributors for us. And we know, VP, you're scheduled for your major speech tomorrow. But again, I implore you, sir, to thank our commitment partners. And then we'll have a group photo and we'll launch the various policy instruments.
Well, thank you very much. First, Madam First Lady, Honorable Ministers, development partners, my task here is very short. I want, on behalf of His Excellency, the President, the government, and the people of Sierra Leone, to thank you for your commitment and also for the renewed commitment you have made here to support energy transition in this country. We also want to thank all those delegates who flew far away to come to Sierra Leone to be part of this very important dialogue process. We want, on behalf of the President and government, to thank them. Additionally, I also want to take the opportunity to thank Her Excellency the First Lady for what she has just said. We know our passion. We also know our energy level, and we are very happy he's going to dedicate and supply some energy to clean cooking as well. And I'm sure that is something we are going to see her do and run across this country. On the final note, I also want to thank Dr. Kande Yinkela and his team, and also the associating ministries for delivering such a wonderful and high-level energy dialogue series. We want to thank all of you and the participants. It will continue. Tomorrow I will be here to deliver a keynote address on energy as an enabler for development. On that note, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of the participants for making us proud and be part of such a fantastic event. Thank you, Dr. Yinkela.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you so much. One last task is that we're asking the Vice President and the First Lady to be in the middle here, and our partners will join them, and the VP will launch all our policy instruments, the Green Growth Plan, the Strategic Plan, the Innovation Center. Please join the Vice President. Please, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Stefano, come up. All the colleagues who also did the speech this morning, you can join our Vice President. Please come. Yes. Thank you so much for the photo op. Please, Minister of Energy, please come in front. Now I have to be able to go. Please come in front. Please join us.